What is up, YouTube? My name's Matt, and you're watching TNCM Simulations. Today we have the Captain Sim. Just checking framer to make sure I'm recording, because sometimes it doesn't record. Today we're going to be flying the Captain Sim 707. This is about the 7th time I've recorded this video, so I'm going to be very, concise with how I'm doing this. I'm a little angry, to be quite honest with you, that it's not been working out. Yes, you, the video watcher. I know I address it as YouTube, but I'm really just talking. This is a nice conversation between me and you, the person that's watching the video. So yeah, just gonna be a little more relaxed this video because I'm talking to you and not the whole YouTube. So yeah, we're just gonna be me and you are just gonna be flying the 707 today from Captain Sim. It's actually a really fun aircraft to fly, pilot to pilot. I find it a lot of fun. It's really complex. As you see, I'm going to start up the aircraft now. This is all just based off of memory. I've started up about 8 times now, and something very different about this aircraft is that obviously it has the flight engineers panel, which has pretty much everything needed to start up. Most of it is on here. Nothing really is on the overhead. It's very minimalistic for the overhead. Really nothing, to be quite honest with you. We're just going to turn on that there. And yeah, we forgot to put fuel in the thing, so I'll be right back and we'll have fuel. So now that we're all gassed up and at the gate, I'm just going to continue with the startup procedure and what I was talking about. So this aircraft is very different from aircraft you're probably used to flying. Just because of the, the flight engineers panel, just to make sure we're connected to the external and ground power. This is a very different plane, and it's very annoying at first, but once you get it down, to be honest with you, it's actually a lot of fun, and it really turns into more of a blast in the past, and it's really not irritating at all. It really makes it a lot of fun, because you really get to see, get to peer into what they did back in the day and how much more complex it was. Not to say that it's not complex now, but it was very complex back then with 3. Sorry about that. It was really complex back then when we had 3 flight crew members looking over the aircraft. It was very different. It was different, and it was honestly, to me, it's a lot harder to do this. Not because what we do now isn't hard, but just because it's very different. So if you're like me and you're very used to, you have hundreds of hours on jet aircraft from like nowadays, it's going to be very hard for you to come and fly this aircraft. It's a very nice detailed aircraft, as you can see. A lot of fun to fly. We've been over this. But yeah, definitely worth it. Now we're just going to start a pushback here. Take off our parking brake. Just push back for a little bit, and we're going to start our engines. Starting the engines in this is a very difficult, and it's very particular, and I might not get this right the first time, but it's very particular, just like the NGX's, but it's just a different level of particular. It's just a lot different as far as being a certain thing. Just making sure everything's set. For some reason, it's not even, N2 is not even rising. We're just going to stop the pushback here, and maybe that's it. So we must have done something wrong. Yeah, just, oh, here we go. That was the problem. Like you can see, now it's working perfectly. As you can see, it's a very particular aircraft. It will not do what you want it to do unless it's, in its perfect conditions. As we're pushing here, I'm going to start the engines. It's a very loud aircraft. Kind of adds its character a little bit. It's a, very old 1950s. First flew in the 1950s. Was delivered in 1958 to Pan Am, I believe. Or maybe that was a 727 that was delivered to Pan Am. But all the legacy carriers, all the huge carriers in Europe, Lufthansa, Air France. So Air France is what we're flying today. Lufthansa, Air France, Qantas, Pan Am, I think it was TWA rather. Sorry. All the legacy carriers of the world flew these aircraft, as well as the 727. These are 2 very similar aircraft, the 727 and the 707. As far as cockpit configuration, and how you start them, and throttle quadrants and such. They're very similar. The autopilot in this is very, very minimal early, and I understand that, no big deal. Just a little bit hard, so I really don't use that. If I'm doing like a long flight, I'll just fly VOR to VOR, because I know how to use VORs because of flight training, and it's very easy to use, and I'm sure I'll do a video on how to use VORs for navigation, but it's mainly how I get around with this thing. I'm not gonna, you're not gonna be flying the autopilot, and if you really want to, you can go all complex on it and do it like they used to do it, and that's no problem at all. Just be aware that there's a lot to it. And it's gonna be more than you signed up for, most likely. But yeah, as long as you're okay with that, that's fine. There's a bunch of cool qualities about this aircraft, such as its flaps. It goes up to 50 degrees. You can see there on the flaps indicator, to 50 degrees of flaps. Now we're just going into the inside cockpit, as we're traveling to the. As you can see, the flaps are coming down. That's pretty cool. You can see that as we're just coming around to the view of the cockpit. Right, so now we're in the captain's chair. We have enough space to make this turn here. We'll release the parking brakes. Just do a quick little turn. The sounds of this aircraft are very nice. They did a good job on this. I might have some bad frames on the way out of the airport, just because I've been not really performing too well today on the computer. Try to do things, a little bit of tweaking to the config, and I didn't even see this guy here. I'm going to turn off my traffic because that's just annoying to have on the video. It makes frames worse. But my frames are looking alright. Today hasn't really been a great day for me, because I've recorded 6 times, all of which have failed at some point for some reason or another. I've just not been on my A game for recording today, and I recorded some part of one, and then failed to record the next part, so I just kept redoing that one part 5 times, and it didn't work, so I figured I'm just going to start fresh, not get mad, because I really, really want to get this video out. Haven't gotten video out in a while, just because, been busy lately, haven't bought an aircraft lately. This is the one I really wanted to do, and haven't really, it's the first Captain Sim aircraft I ever got. I do have the 727, just got it recently as well. These are 2 aircraft that are very fun to fly. Just gonna talk about both of them, and Captain Sim in general. But on the takeoff here, I want you guys to just listen in. And also, this aircraft moves with very little thrust, and sorry about that lag spike there. I have no thrust. There's no thrust coming into the engines right now. It's all the way down, and it's it's powering through this taxi quite tremendously, which is very impressive of an aircraft of this age. Now we're just going to turn here left onto the runway, and we're going to come a little further, and now we're going to take off. So I want you guys to just listen, and I'm going to turn up the speakers, and you guys can enjoy this. As we lift off the ground, you'll be able to tell this aircraft has a lot of power to it. For being such an old aircraft, it had, these engines actually did do a really good job. The Pratt & Whitney, I think they're the JT3D or something along those lines. I'm not really sure. But they did a fantastic job for what they did. They're really small, tiny engines. They're really loud, horrible on gas, absolutely abysmal on gas. But they were good power for what they, for the times, and performed very well for what they were wanted to do. So as we're, I wanted to really talk about something today that was very important to me, the negative connotation for Captain Sim. And I know you guys, if you've been in the if you've been in the flight sim community for a while, there's quite a negative connotation on just quality, Captain Sim products. Just because people usually say they're really hard in the frames and stuff. I'm saying it's very contrary to what I've been actually, experiencing with this add-on. it's actually, you know, when actually flying it, it gets about 50 frames per second, which is better than which I usually get. I just have bad frames right now for some reason, just because of fraps. Fraps is obviously, you know, fraps is a horrible recording thing, but it's the only thing I can really use. Not to say that I don't appreciate the fraps, but it's just not good at what it does. It destroys your frame rate, and it's just, you know, it's just all around not really fantastic. Yeah, so just you know, I really want people to realize Captain Sim's not a bad aircraft manufacturer, or not publisher, I should say. They're really good, actually. They make some really nice aircraft. I haven't tried a lot of them. I know the 727 and the 75, or 70 are both very good aircraft, and I know that their 73 is also a very good aircraft. I know they make very fantastic old aircraft. As far as I'm concerned, they make good aircraft that are old. You know, shows their products, and you know, it really shows that they have quite a bit of you know attention to detail, and you know, even that. Look at that thing right up there that's moving. You know, as we turn. You know, just little things like that make them a really nice you know, high quality aircraft designer. It's very good at what they do, and you know, as far as like aircraft like this, which are very old and, you know, blast from the past, it's very nice to see that they're, you know, taking this much detail on these aircraft that, you know, it's a niche thing. And, you know, flight sim is a niche market for business to get into, and this is even a smaller niche market, you know, an old aircraft. So this is not really something that you're going to see too often from aircraft manufacturers. And I think it's very impressive that they did this and did it to such a detail that they did, because really there's, sorry for those texture bugs right there, you know, there's really not too many add-on manufacturers that have the balls to do this, that have the balls to, you know, say, we're going to go, you know, we're going to do this nice of an add-on on this kind of aircraft. Sorry, I thought I didn't have my ear down there. Something interesting also about it is it has quite huge flaps that go down to 50 degrees, help the airplane slow down really, really quick, and you know, they really slow down the airplane and bring its vertical speed really down there. It's quite fun to have on there, so you can just, you know, right away slap them on there. You can see as I slapped them on there, you can see our vertical speed drop dramatically from just, you know, extension of flaps. So we're gonna, you know, reduce speed even more to get that descent rate coming, and look for the runway, which is right there. Start turning in now. I have a tendency to turn a little early, I mean late rather. So I'm going to try and turn a little bit earlier this time. Adding a little bit of power just to compensate for the how we're going to get a little bit low on this, and I can tell because, you know, we've been descending quite rapidly, so we're just going to put a little bit of power to, once again, I turned a little bit, actually, you know, that's alright, that's not too shabby on such a short approach. Now you can see, as obviously we're getting low. I usually get low with this aircraft just because its tendency, its glare sheet is quite high. So I usually will just not knowingly come in a little bit low, which is, you know, it's fine, it's alright. But obviously not what I would want to be doing, but it's alright. The aircraft makes up for it. It's a fantastic aircraft to fly. You know, after this, after I wrap it up, we're just going to see the same landing right now we're going to do from the perspective of the wind view. Just as a different perspective to see. Should come here, pull out the power all the way, and slowly pitch back to touch down the runway, nice and soft. Come down here for the final descent. And there we go. Touchdown. Now we're going to put up our spoilers, get our reversers going, and then apply braking. We really need marginal braking. We don't need full-on braking. Just need marginal, just some, you know, a little bit, and then we're all good. This, you know, easy aircraft to fly. Actually, I just completely lied to you. It's not easy, but it's also not hard. If you have aircraft knowledge, I came into this cockpit, tried to start it once, didn't work, and then using my prior knowledge from stuff like the PMDG 737, I was able to start it without looking at anything, just because I knew, you know, criteria for starting aircraft, jet aircraft, that is. Just something different of things you might be that you might be used to flying. This doesn't have an APU. So you just start primarily on external power units. You know, you just heavily rely on those for starting up. You know, we don't, on this, you really do not have an APU, so you can't really start it. You know, these early jet age, you know, this is the first jetliner, to be honest with you. I don't know about the DC-8, I don't know when that came out, but these are, you know, these are the first jetliners that came out. You know, not the first jets, but the first aircraft that were airliners that came out that were jets. It's more of a lag right there. This is the first of it. You know, these came out and they didn't have APUs. They were just, you know, they were the pretty crazy aircraft of their day. Yes, basically I just want to wrap it up. This is a nice aircraft. I would recommend it to you if you're looking for an old aircraft. If you're looking for any aircraft, you're just in the market, definitely go out and purchase this aircraft if you have a nice computer. I don't know what it'll be like without a computer. I mean, this is just fraps getting this. I'm sure you can run at 20 frames per second if you have an alright computer with this. It's a nice add-on. A lot of fun to fly. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. See that wind beam? It's just phenomenal. And that's what we're going to be using to show you the replay of that landing we just did. And yeah, pretty much just go, you know, this aircraft is a legacy aircraft. It's an aircraft that's not young, so don't go, you know, out looking for a jet, you know, this is the first jet age aircraft, so don't say, you know, I want a wide body that I'm going to be able to easily fly across the Atlantic, you know, in a little bit of time. You know, this aircraft can fly that far, but you're not going to be, you know, using, you know, normal FMC GPS plotting routes. You know, you're going to be using VORs, you're going to be using, you know, obscure things you're not used to. So expect that from this aircraft. If you're in the market for that kind of aircraft, definitely go with this. The 727 is definitely good from them, and I'll be reviewing that shortly. So go for that one too as well. These are both nice aircraft that you can go for. But if you want further information on that one, I'll be doing a review quite shortly on it. I just have to get my sounds working. For some reason the sound is not working on it. I will figure that out. But yeah, that's pretty much all for me. Just want to say, you know, some last things. Just, yeah, if you're looking for this old aircraft, go for this aircraft. It's quite a bit of fun. It really brings back, you know, the memories. And if you go watch these 07s Takeoff and, you know, the infamous barrel roll, it really just brings you to those moments in those early jet days in which, you know, these things just became, you know, ultra famous. Something else I've been doing a lot. I've been flying a lot of VAT sim. That's probably why I haven't gotten a lot of videos up lately. Just because I've been flying a lot of VAT sim. You know, when I have free time and when I'm flying, it's usually going to be VAT sim lately. Just because I really like the whole VAT sim thing, and I love the whole ATC. I have a lot of experience with IFR, ATC com, and I like to do that. So when I get the chance to do that, I do it usually, and you know, I don't. What am I trying to say? Let's see if I can show you some of the, there you go, see the engine covers on the back of the aircraft, or on the aircraft rather. There's the engine covers. I accidentally took off the ones on 2. You know, I'm just going to try to show you the, you know, things coming out. I'll show you everything out. Comes the radome, the main door, wheel chocks, pilots. You can see it even has, you know, all these little things it has. And this really shows you the quality of this plane. It's just so much stuff. Even the cargo door. Sorry, my phone's ringing right now. Even, you know, the service door, stuff like that for service people. This has, like, you know, a crazy amount of detail to it. You know, even look at these engine. You know, if looking at it from the engine view, that's just crazy detail that, you know, you wouldn't expect. You see that, you know, I wouldn't expect that from an aircraft publisher such as, you know, for FSX. You can see these things are even swinging in the wind. So definitely get this aircraft. It's a really, really nice aircraft. Even this is opening. And you know, it's quite a bit of fun to fly. But that's all for me. I really appreciate everybody commenting, subscribing, liking everything. It's really helping us out. We're growing really fast, and it's all thanks to you guys. You know, it's fantastic, and we appreciate those guys commenting, telling us what they want to see. And you know, we are getting those videos out. Be up shortly. Jason's getting his first video up, or second video up, sorry, quite soon, because his computer's finally working and it's finally going, and we're excited. You know, upcoming aircraft to look out for. We're looking out for the 787 by Quality Wings. Quality Wings is a really good aircraft developer. We really want to get that Quality Wings 787 because there's been a huge lack of interest in the 787. Besides that Japanese group that did it, don't really want to buy that. I've not seen amazing things about it, and I've not seen bad things about it. So I'm just gonna not touch that. And I really want to see that 787 coming soon. So that's pretty much all for me. I appreciate everybody watching. If you like this stuff, if you've never really seen us before, if you like this stuff, it's pretty much what we do. You know, comment on it, like it, and subscribe to us, and you'll be able to see our stuff all the time. So yeah, this is Matt. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good day.